I'm Jeremy Jacobs and welcome to Chattoon, the chat show with cartoons. With me today is the world famous cartoonist Clive Goddard, famous for his work on Private Eye and Playboy.
Hello.
We're here today to see someone from BBC who knows an awful lot about life in London. Should we go inside? Hello.
Hello.
It's Jeremy, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you, Alice. Hello. Hi
And
there.
it's young Clive.
Nice to meet you. Hi.
Take a seat, Clive. Thank you very much. Okay, lovely. Excellent. Alice, are you of nervous disposition?
I'm not. Actually, it's quite tricky to be in the television news business if you're a very nervous person.
It's because we've placed you next to a World War II bomb down there. You know.
I take it it's been deactivated.
Allegedly. What made you go from a lucrative career in the world of finance to television journalism?
Well, I was working in investment banking and I just didn't love it. So I went back to university and I did a postgrad at the London College of Communication. And literally from that I got straight into the BBC.
Now, Alice, we're both presenters. Occasionally things, shall we say, don't go as planned. What's the worst thing that's happened to you?
I think the worst one, only because it was so public. It was on the red carpet for the premiere of a film called Night at the Museum 2. My brief was to interview Ben Stiller and Ricky Gervais on the red carpet of this premiere. With 60 seconds to go, I'm standing there on my own, screaming fans everywhere. You can hardly hear yourself think, and no guests. They're at the other end of the red carpet doing their thing, entertaining the crowds. Luckily, there was a PR girl within view, and I just said, get them now. We're going to be on air any minute now. Get them right now. She rushed off. She brought them with 10 seconds to go. Riz, in my ear, presenting the programme, said, and now let's cross to Alice Bhandhukravi, who's in Leicester Square for us now. So I said, well, that's right, here we are. I turn around, I haven't even seen Ricky Gervais yet. I turn around, thank goodness he was there, as was Ben Stiller, and this third person, whose name I hadn't quite caught. I introduced them, Ricky Gervais, Ben Stiller, and Frank Azaria. To which he immediately interrupted, actually, it's Hank Azaria. That was red rag to a bull. Ricky Gervais said, actually, my name is Dickie Jarvis. And then Ben Stiller said, and my name is Sven Miller. So then they did the rest of the interview in these other characters. So it was just a case of keeping my head above water. As long as I'm made a fool of and they're not, that's fine.
What's the most interesting thing you've come across in recent times?
One story that touched me a lot recently was meeting a family in Surbiton, a wife whose husband is a photojournalist, and he was sent to Libya to take pictures of the conflict, and he had gone missing and they hadn't heard from him again. She had a very tiny baby and a small son. And you know, when you meet people in that situation, you feel like that could be your husband, son, brother. And it's really hard to stay sort of neutral and separate from the story, especially when it turned out that he'd been killed. And I really felt sad and quite depressed for a few days, actually. But you do have to have a sort of composure. And if you get too emotionally involved, you can't actually report on them objectively, and that's obviously the key.
Now, what's the most famous person you've interviewed?
Probably the most famous person was Archbishop Desmond Tutu, because he used to live in London and the residents of his area got together to create a memorial garden in his honour. He flew over to open this lovely memorial garden, and he was so inspiring, and it was such a big deal for me to meet him and interview him. And he got tears in his eyes because he was so moved that all these people from the local area had turned out for him. Everyone was sort of welling up. Really memorable. Another memorable interview was the Reverend Jesse Jackson. So I got the chance to interview him very early in my career, and he's got a very, very strong southern accent. He was speaking in these amazing sound bites. In a city like London with Olympic-size dreams, you gotta have Olympic-size aspirations. And then at the end of the interview, he said, Miss Alice, would you like to have your photograph taken with me? So I sort of found my mobile phone, gave it to the cameraman to take a picture, and we stood there. He put his arm right round me and then took a real good handful. And I stood there sort of thinking, that's a bit unexpected. You know, he's an old guy, he's done loads for civil rights. It's my small contribution. We left it at that.
Now, there is a third person with us today. Clive, how are you getting on, Clive, so far with... or is it...
It's
Hello.
time for the big reveal.
Oh, the big reveal.
Yes, well, hopefully I've not been too cruel. For you.
Ah, my old friend, the Reverend Ben Stiller, Sven Miller, as he likes to be called by me, Ricky Gervais, Desmond Tutu, who's so sweet. That's lovely.
Very welcome.
That's very nice. This is Alice Bhandhukravi reporting for Spittoon. Yes! Cut! That's perfect.